There's nothing to celebrate in our marriage. My wife's mother humiliated me at a family gathering, so I crafted a shocking disclosure that left her stunned. Be me, 31 male. Been grinding at the district attorney's office for 8 years. Started from the absolute bottom. Began as assistant DA straight out of law school. Handled all the shit cases no one else wanted. Slowly worked my way up to serious felonies. Used to be a different person. Played football for State University. Was actually pretty good. Had scouts from pro teams checking me out. Until I fucked up my knee in senior year. Office life and failing marriage turned me into someone else. Life before meeting Claire wasn't anything special. Grew up in middle-class neighborhood in Chicago, suburbs. Parents worked their asses off for me and my sister. Dad was a firefighter. Mom worked as a teacher. They pushed education like crazy. First one in family to go to college. Met Claire during second year of law school. She was finishing her business degree. Gorgeous and ambitious. Thought she was way out of my league. Looking back now, I was actually a solid catch. Young lawyer-to-be, former athlete, no baggage. Somehow she convinced me she was the prize. Now at Thanksgiving dinner with Claire's family, they always treated me like some kind of outsider. Claire's family is all about status. Her dad's a neurosurgeon. Mom never worked a day in her life. Her brother Thomas is some hotshot hedge fund manager, always bragging about his yacht. Their Thanksgiving is this super formal event, everyone pretending to be perfect, while talking shit about people who aren't there. Turkey dry as sandpaper thanks to Claire's mom, Catherine. Woman thinks black pepper is too spicy, but I'm trying to make the best of it. Deep in conversation with Thomas about new state laws, when Claire's voice cuts through the room like a knife. "Oh, come on," she says with that smirk I've grown to hate. "You guys should be thankful you have something exciting going on." I can't say the same for what happens in our bedroom. Entire table goes dead silent. Her cousin Jack starts this awkward laugh, spreads around the table like a disease. See Catherine pursing her lips, but says nothing. Her dad's suddenly very interested in his turkey. Thomas actually looks embarrassed for me. Feel blood rushing to my face. Keep it together somehow. What am I supposed to do? 'Cause a scene at Thanksgiving? Make her look bad in front of her precious family? Take a long sip of bourbon. Try to act like it doesn't tear me apart. Force a smile like, haha, good one. Pretty sure it looks more like a grimace. Conversation somehow moves on. Her aunt starts talking about some charity gala. Tension slowly fades, but I'm not really there anymore. Just going through the motions. Next 2 hours feel like eternity. Keep nodding and fake laughing. Refilling my bourbon way too often. Catch Thomas giving me sympathetic looks. Even this rich douchebag thinks Claire crossed a line. Give him slight nod like, what can you do? Keep drinking to numb the pain. This wasn't just some random comment. This was years of Claire's bullshit coming to a head. She had a pattern of humiliating me in public. But this was the most direct and degrading yet. Usually she was more subtle, little jabs about my career progress, comments about my appearance, digs at my family's background. Guess she decided to go for the kill this time. By dessert time, I'm mentally checked out. Staring at pumpkin pie, thinking about how fucking miserable I am. Wondering when exactly I became this shell of a person, just taking this kind of treatment. Something snaps in me that night. Not in some dramatic, table-flipping way. More like quiet realization. Can't live like this anymore. Won't live like this anymore. Everyone finally leaves around 10 p.m. Standing in kitchen washing dishes. Replaying that humiliating moment over and over. Looking around our fancy suburban house. Bought it 3 years ago in Oak Park. All stainless steel appliances. Granite countertops everywhere. Claire insisted on all of it. Said that's what successful people have. Tonight, it feels more like a prison than a home. Claire walks in humming some radio tune, collecting empty wine glasses. Still has that fake host smile on, one she uses for guests. Never for me when we're alone. So that little joke at dinner, I say. Try to keep voice steady. Scrubbing cranberry sauce off serving platter. Was that really necessary? She barely glances at me. Puts glasses in sink. Oh my God, Marcus, don't be so sensitive. It was just a joke. Just a fucking joke, right? Because publicly announcing to your entire family that I'm inadequate in bed is comedy gold? A joke about humiliating me in front of your entire family. Real hilarious, Claire. Can hear edge in my voice. Still trying to keep it together. She rolls her eyes, lets out this exasperated sigh. Like I'm some oversensitive child. Please, nobody even cared. You're acting like I committed some terrible crime. Everyone was laughing. It wasn't a big deal. It was a big deal to me. Turned to face her, still holding soapy dish. How would you feel if I made a joke? About your sexual performance? In front of my family? That's different, she scoffs. Grabs bottle of wine with some left. How is that different? It just is, she pours another glass. And anyway, your family would never have a fancy enough dinner for that scenario to even happen. And there it was, another dig at my family. She always thought they were beneath her. Because Dad was a firefighter, and Mom worked extra teaching shifts to put me through college. My parents, who've been married 35 years, still hold hands when they walk. Might not have fancy dinners, but never publicly humiliate each other. That's when it hits me. This pattern since day one of marriage, little digs about my salary, even though I make more than enough, comments about how I've let myself go, compared to her CrossFit buddy's husband, always implying I'm not good enough, always in front of people, never when we're alone, always setting me up as the punchline. You know what, Claire, I'm done with this conversation. Put down the dish. Dry my hands. You're incapable of understanding how your actions affect other people. I'm tired of trying to explain basic human decency to you. Her eyes widen a bit. I rarely talk back to her like this. Wow, someone's being dramatic tonight. Is it that time of the month for you? She smirks at her own joke. Just stare at her for a moment. Seeing her clearly maybe for the first time. She's not the beautiful, confident woman I fell for in law school. She's mean, shallow, cruel even. I've put up with it for too long. Thought that's what a good husband does. You weather the storms. You compromise. You make it work. Guy staring back at me in kitchen window. Looks beaten down. Shadow of who I used to be. The guy who used to command a courtroom. Now can't even stand up to his own wife. Former linebacker who used to intimidate opponents. Now hunches shoulders and takes emotional hits. With no defense. Walk out of kitchen without another word. Leave her with rest of dishes. Small rebellion but feels like first step. Can't sleep that night. Claire passed out next to me. Wine and turkey doing their work. Keep staring at ceiling. Thinking about how we got here? Didn't start this way. First year of marriage was good. Both building our careers. Had great sex. Talked about our dreams, but slowly things changed. Claire started hanging out with different crowd. Wives of surgeons and executives who spend days at spas, planning charity events they don't care about. Got job at prestigious marketing firm. Started caring more about appearances than substance. And me, just wanted to do good work. Make difference as prosecutor. Wasn't interested in office politics or climbing social ladder. Claire saw that as lack of ambition. Started making comments about how I should network more, dress better, aim higher. When I pushed back saying I was happy, she'd act like I was settling for mediocrity. Keep thinking about how Claire slowly chipped away at my confidence over the years. How she'd roll her eyes when I talked about my cases. How she'd joke with friends about having to train me like some kind of dog. How she'd compare me to her ex Brandon, who apparently was some kind of sex god, according to her drunk stories at parties. Stories she'd tell while I was standing right there. And I just took it. Made excuses for her. She had too much to drink. She's just joking around. She doesn't mean it. But lying there in dark, can't make excuses anymore. Thanksgiving comment was final straw. Get up at 5 a.m. Way before Claire would wake up. Especially with all that wine. She won't be up until at least 10. Don't bother being quiet. Grab my gym bag. Been collecting dust in closet for 2 years. Head out into morning darkness. My old college teammate Oliver runs boxing gym. Other side of town, we were close during college. Was my linebacker partner. Had my back on and off the field. After knee injury ended potential pro career. He was there for me. We drifted apart after marriage. Claire thought he was bad influence. Because he was single, ran a low-brow business, her words. Last time I saw him was at mutual friend's wedding. 2 years ago, Claire got drunk. Made fun of his date's dress. Within earshot of everyone, gym's an industrial part of town. Not fancy but real. Heavy bags hanging from ceiling, ring in center, weight racks along wall, smells like sweat and determination. Walking in, feel embarrassed. Used to bench 225 for reps. Used to have six-pack. Used to command respect when walking into room. Now I'm soft, tired, and pissed off. Few early morning regulars already there. Mostly guys who look like construction workers. Getting training in before work. Some nod at me, Others ignore the newcomer. Oliver's in ring with teenage kid, holding up focus mitts, shouting encouragement. He looks good. Still built like tank. But with some gray and beard now. He spots me and does double take. "Marcus, holy shit, man!" Oliver calls out, ducking between ropes, jumping down from ring. "Thought you died or your wife put you on house arrest?" Force a smile, as he pulls me into bear hug. Something like that. "Got time to help a has-been get back in shape?" Oliver holds me at arm's length, looking me up and down with critical eye. Know what he sees. Put on at least 40 pounds since college. Most of it around middle. Once broad shoulders, now slump forward. But no judgment in his eyes. Just concern. For you always, brother. He clasps my shoulder. "But what brought this on? Claire finally give you permission to have life again?" That comment hits deeper than he knows. Something like that. But there's edge to my voice. Makes Oliver raise eyebrow. "All right then." He nods, understanding, without explanation. That was always our dynamic. He could read me better than most. "Let's get to work. Go change and we'll see what you remember." Head to locker room. Catch glimpse of myself in mirror. Dress shirt straining at buttons. Dark circles under eyes. Stranger looking back at me. But somewhere in stranger's eyes, see flicker of old Marcus. The one who didn't take shit from anyone. The one who fought for what he believed in. That was the moment. Really decided. Going to change. Not for Claire. Not to save marriage. But for me, first week of training was absolute hell. Body screamed with every punch thrown. Lungs burned after few minutes of movement. Shoulders felt like tearing apart. Trying to do even fraction of what I used to. Started coming in every morning at 5 a.m., putting in work before heading to office. Then coming back after work for another session. Regulars started to recognize me, giving nods of respect. For the consistent effort, there's this old guy Lucas, probably in his 60s, still built like brick shithouse. Sometimes gives me pointers. "Twist your hips more on that right cross. Keep your guard up, son." Oliver hooked me up with nutrition plan. "You're eating like shit. That's half your problem," he tells me bluntly. "All that takeout and processed crap, making you soft. Cut out all processed shit." Claire kept stocking pantry with started meal prepping on Sundays. Chicken, steak, fish, veggies. Claire noticed but didn't say anything at first. Just watched with confused look. As I packed lunches, instead of eating takeout, she'd order. "What are you doing?" she finally asks. "On third Sunday of meal prep, making my lunches for the week." Say without looking up from containers. "Since when do you cook?" "Since now." She hovers in kitchen doorway. "Is this some kind of New Year's resolution or something?" "It was early December." "Nope." She waits for me to elaborate. "But I don't." This is my new approach. Minimal engagement. No more long explanations. No more apologies for doing what I want. No more seeking her approval. After 3 weeks of consistent training and clean eating, started seeing changes. Face looked less bloated. Clothes little looser. Had more energy. People at work commented that I seemed more focused, more assertive in court. One night, Claire waiting up. When I got home around 9 p.m., sitting on couch in living room, still dressed in work clothes, empty wine glass on coffee table. "Where have you been?" she asks, trying to sound casual, but can hear edge in her voice. "Out," I say, heading toward stairs to shower. "With who?" "Friends." She laughs. That mean little laugh she does. When she thinks she's caught you in lie. "What friends?" "You don't have friends," she says. But laugh dies when she sees my face. Stop at bottom of stairs. Turn to her. "I do now," I say. Continue up to bathroom. Hear her follow me upstairs, hovering outside bathroom door. As I strip off gym clothes. "You've been acting weird for weeks, Marcus." "Going to the gym?" "Cooking your own food. Staying out late." "What's going on?" Turn on shower. "Nothing's going on. I'm just making some changes." "What kind of changes?" "Why?" Look at her directly. Perhaps first time in months. Really held eye contact. "Because I want to." She blinks, surprised by directness. Is this because of what I said at Thanksgiving? Are you still upset about that?" "I'm not upset about anything," I say calmly. "I'm just living my life. But Claire, I need to shower. It's been a long day." Close bathroom door in her face. Another first? Usually leave it open. Let her come and go as she pleased. Let her continue conversations while I showered. Not anymore. Need boundaries. Finally setting them. Later that night, she tries to initiate sex. First time in months. I decline. Say I'm tired from training. Look of shock on her face, almost comical. She's not used to rejection. Are you serious right now? She asks, propping herself up on elbow. Yeah, I'm beat. Good night. Turn away from her. Fall asleep almost immediately. Exhaustion from day's workout pulling me under. About 6 weeks into new routine. Down 25 pounds of fat. Put on serious muscle. Starting to look like old self again. More importantly, starting to feel like old self. Confident, focused, in control. Changes weren't just physical. Found myself speaking up more at work. Challenging senior attorneys. When disagreeing with their approach to cases, offering my own strategies. Instead of just following orders, reconnected with old friends. From law school and college. Guys I drifted away from. Because Claire always found them boring. Or beneath us. Christmas came and went. Did obligatory family visits, but kept emotional distance whole time. When Claire's mom made passive-aggressive comment about my new appearance, hope you're not getting too obsessed with Jim, Marcus. Narcissism isn't attractive. Just smiled and said, thanks for your concern, Catherine. Walked away to chat with Thomas instead of stewing in silent resentment, like would have before, came home from session with Oliver. One Saturday morning in January, Claire was in kitchen making coffee. She turned and actually did double take. Jesus, Marcus, you look different. Grabbed protein shake from fridge. Yeah, she waited for more, but I didn't give it to her. That was our new dynamic. She'd fish for information. I'd give bare minimum. Was driving her fucking crazy. She leaned against counter, coffee mug in hand, studying me. The guys at the office must be giving you shit for getting so fit. Shrugged. Not really. Most of them have asked me for workout tips, actually. Oh, she seemed disappointed that there wasn't some negative consequence to my transformation. Well, some of the girls are coming over tonight for wine. You should join us. Translation. She wanted to show off new me. To her friends, probably spin some bullshit story about how she encouraged me to get in shape, how it was her idea. Take credit for my hard work, just like she always did. Can't. Going to the Rodriguez fight with Oliver and guys? Her face fell. You didn't tell me about that. Didn't know I needed permission, I said. Heading upstairs to shower. It's not about permission, Marcus. She called after me, irritation clear in her voice. It's about common courtesy, letting your wife know your plans. Stopped on stairs. Looked back at her. You're right. So as courtesy, I'm letting you know I'll be out tonight. Continued upstairs, smiling to myself at speechless look on her face. That night got dressed in jeans that actually fit right, and Henley that showed off shoulders. As grabbing keys, Claire intercepted me at door, already dressed for her girls' night, wearing low-cut top, full makeup. You look nice, she said, reaching out to touch my chest. Her eyes had that look, one she used to get when she wanted something from me. Once upon time, that look would have had me tripping over myself to please her. Stepped back. Thanks. Don't wait up. That was first time I saw fear in her eyes. Not fear like I'd hurt her. Fear that she was losing control. Fear that punching bag she'd been using for years was suddenly standing up straight and walking away. Next few weeks, her behavior shifted dramatically. Started texting me throughout day. Little messages asking how court was going. If I wanted her to pick up dinner, just checking in. Started dressing sexier around house. Walking around in those little shorts. She knew I liked. Forgetting to wear bra under t-shirt. Started asking about my cases. Pretending to be interested. Started suggesting date nights. Something she hadn't done in years. One night in February, she cooked dinner. Actually cooked. Not just ordered takeout. Set table with candles and everything. What's the occasion? I asked, loosening my tie as I came in. No occasion, she said, with smile that didn't quite reach her eyes. Just thought it would be nice to have real dinner together. We've both been so busy lately. Translation, you've been busy. I've been right here, waiting for you to go back to being my doormat. Sat down and took bite of salmon. She'd made it. It was good. She was always a decent cook. When she bothered to do it, which was rarely, "How was work?" she asked, pouring me glass of wine. "Fine. Preparing for Wilson trial." "You?" "Oh, you know, the usual agency drama." She leaned forward, giving me view down her blouse. "Actually, I got some good news today. They're considering me for creative director position." "That's great," I said, and meant it. Despite everything, didn't wish her professional failure. Yeah, it would mean more money. More responsibility. I'd be youngest CD they've ever had. She twirled wine glass. "We should celebrate. Maybe take weekend trip somewhere. The Hamptons, maybe?" Took another bite of salmon. Considering my response, "I don't think so, Claire. I've got Wilson trial coming up. Need to stay focused." Her smile faltered. "Well, maybe after trial then? We haven't been away together in ages." "We'll see." She reached across table, put her hand on mine. "Marcus, I know things have been different. Between us lately, I feel like we're drifting apart." "No shit, Sherlock. I miss you," she continued. Voice soft. "I miss us." Looked at her hand on mine. Once that touch would have sent electricity through me. Now felt nothing. Just clinical observation. Her nails freshly manicured. Wearing expensive perfume I'd bought for our anniversary. Wedding ring caught candlelight. "Claire," I said, pulling hand away gently but firmly. "I appreciate dinner, but I'm not sure what you're expecting here." "I'm not expecting anything," she said quickly. "I just want us to reconnect, to get back to how we were, and that was problem. Didn't want to go back to how we were, back to being guy who took her shit with smile, back to feeling inadequate in own home. I'm not sure that's possible," I said finally. Her face hardened for split second. Before she controlled it, "Why not? Because of one stupid joke at Thanksgiving? You're still hung up on that?" And there it was. Real Claire breaking through facade of attentive, loving wife. She'd been playing for weeks. It wasn't just one joke, Claire. It was years of little cuts. Years of you putting me down, making me feel like I wasn't good enough. Years of me accepting that treatment. Because I thought that's what marriage was. Compromising yourself until there's nothing left. She sat back, shocked at my directness. "That's not fair. I've always supported you." "No, you haven't. You've tolerated me when I did what you wanted, and ridiculed me when I didn't." "That's not true." Her voice rose. "I've stood by you when you settled. For being just another prosecutor. Instead of aiming higher, I've introduced you to people who could help your career. I've tried to motivate you to be better." "Motivate me?" I laughed, but no humor in it. "Is that what you call publicly humiliating me? Making jokes about my sexual performance to your family? Comparing me to your ex? That's motivation?" "You're twisting things," she said, but her eyes shifted away from mine. She knew I was right. "No, Claire. For first time in years, I'm seeing things clearly." I stood up. "Thanks for dinner. I'm going to the gym." "Of course you are," she muttered. "That's all you care about now?" Paused at door. "No, it's not all I care about. I care about my work. I care about my self-respect. I care about being around people who actually value me. The gym is just a place where I remember who I used to be. Before I let you convince me I wasn't enough." Left her sitting there, staring at candles melting between us. About 3 months after Thanksgiving, one very important case. Evidence was circumstantial but solid. Spent weeks preparing, staying late at office, practicing arguments with Oliver. Explain it to me like regular guy. Not lawyer, he'd say. When verdict came in, guilty on all counts. It was vindicating. Victim's family hugged me. DA clapped me on back. Even judge made comment about exceptional quality of prosecution. DA took whole team out for drinks. At Sullivan's, this upscale bar near courthouse, where a lot of lawyers hung out, was enjoying camaraderie with colleagues. When Claire showed up uninvited, "Surprise," she said, sliding into booth next to me, putting hand on my thigh. "In front of everyone. Thought I'd come celebrate?" With my successful husband. My colleagues looked uncomfortable. They'd never met Claire before, because she always declined my invitations. To office events, saying they sounded boring, or that she didn't want to listen. To lawyers' talk shop all night. "How did you know where we were?" I asked. "Oh, I have my ways," she giggled. But it sounded forced. She'd probably been tracking my phone or following my social media check-ins. The ADA across from me, Vanessa, gave Claire a tight smile. "So, you're Marcus's wife? Nice to finally meet you. He did amazing work on Wilson case." "Of course he did," Claire said, squeezing my thigh. "I always knew he had it in him. Sometimes he just needs a little push. Right, honey?" Removed her hand from my leg. "Would you excuse us for a minute?" Said to my colleagues, then guided Claire away from table, toward exit. Once outside on sidewalk, turned to her. "What are you doing, Claire?" "What? I can't be proud of my husband?" She tried to put arms around my neck, but I stepped back. "Cut the shit! You've never cared about my work before." Her face hardened. "What is your problem lately? You're never home. You barely talk to me. You're obviously working out for some reason." Her eyes narrowed. "Are you cheating on me? Is that what this is about? You finally found someone who fucks you right?" I actually laughed. "That's rich coming from you." Her face went pale. "What's that supposed to mean?" Just stared at her. Had seen text from her friend Ryan. When her phone buzzed one night, while she was in shower, wasn't stupid. The late work meetings, new lingerie I never saw her wear, defensive way she guarded her phone. Had my suspicions for months, but hadn't confronted her. Because honestly, didn't care enough anymore. "Nothing," I said finally. "Go home, Claire. I'm celebrating with my team tonight." "I'm your wife," she hissed. "You don't get to dismiss me like some... Like what? Like how you've dismissed me for years? Like how you humiliated me in front of your family? Like how you've been treating me? Like I'm nothing but joke? Since day we got married?" She stepped back, shock on her face. People entering and leaving bar were starting to look our way. "We'll talk about this at home," she said quietly. "No, we won't," I replied, because I'm done talking. Turned to go back inside, but she grabbed my arm. "What does that mean? You're done talking?" Looked down at her hand on my arm, then back at her face. "It means I'm done, Claire. Done with the marriage. Done with mind games. Done with feeling like shit." Every time I walked through our front door, her grip tightened. "You can't just be done. We're married. We took vows. Vows that included respect and fidelity, neither of which you've honored." She flinched at mention of fidelity, but recovered quickly. "So you're just going to throw away 6 years of marriage just like that?" "No, not just like that. After years of trying to be good enough for you, and realizing it's impossible. After watching you flirt with other men, in front of me, after hearing you make jokes at my expense, to anyone who would listen." Removed her hand from my arm. "You threw away our marriage long time ago, Claire. I'm just finally admitting it's over." She was crying now, but I knew those tears. They weren't sadness. They were frustration, anger that she wasn't getting her way. "You can't do this to me," she said, voice breaking. "Not now. Not when I'm up for CD position. Do you know how it will look? If my husband leaves me right now?" And there it was. Not "I love you, don't leave." Not "I'll change, I promise." But how will this affect my image? I don't care how it looks, Claire. I don't care about your job, or your image, or what your friends will think. I care about fact that, for first time in years, I feel like myself again, and that self deserves better than what you've been giving. Walked back into bar, leaving her standing on sidewalk, mascara running down her face. My colleagues pretended not to notice. When I returned, but Vanessa gave me small nod of approval. For first time in my adult life, I'd chosen myself over Claire's demands, and it felt fucking amazing. 2 weeks later, moved most of my stuff into new apartment downtown. Not fancy, just 1 bedroom in old building. Exposed brick and tall windows, but it was mine. No designer furniture picked out by Claire, no accent pieces that cost more than first car, just simple comfortable stuff that I liked. Hired divorce attorney, not someone from my office, but guy Oliver knew, who specialized in cases where one spouse had significantly more assets than other. Claire had trust fund I'd never touched, and family money that had paid for our down payment. Wanted clean break, not sent more than I was entitled to. Claire had been in full panic mode, alternating between rage, tears, and desperate attempts to seduce me back. Nothing worked. I'd filed for divorce, and her world was crumbling. She tried everything. showing up at my apartment unannounced. Never let her in. Sending lingerie pics at 2 a.m. Blocked her number. Except for necessary divorce communications, even trying to get mutual friends to intervene, they mostly sided with me. After hearing my side of story, "You're making mistakes," she said. One time I agreed to meet her for coffee to discuss logistics. We were at neutral location. Starbucks halfway between our house, well, her house now, and my apartment. "We can go to counseling. I can change." "It's too late for that," I said. Sliding folder with proposed division of assets. Across table. "I think you'll find this fair. Not asking for alimony. Despite income disparity. Just want my personal belongings. And my half of our joint savings." She ignored folder. "Is there someone else? Is that what this is about?" "No," I said honestly. "This is about me finally respecting myself enough to walk away from someone who doesn't respect me." "That's not true. I respect you. You have funny way of showing it." She tried to take my hand, but I pulled back. "Marcus, please. I love you. I know I've made mistakes, but everyone does. No marriage is perfect. I don't need perfect, Claire. I just need basic decency. And you've shown me repeatedly that you're not capable of that." She started crying then, not fake tears from before, but real ones. Part of me felt bad for her, but then remembered all times she'd made me feel small, insignificant, worthless. My sympathy had its limits. "Just look at proposal," I said. Standing up. "Have your lawyer contact mine. If you have any questions." Walked out feeling lighter. With every step, Claire kept calling, kept texting, kept begging for help, for money, for connections, for anything. Ignored most of it, only responding when directly related. To divorce proceedings. "Please, Marcus, I can't make mortgage payment this month." She texted in March. "Sell house," I replied. "It's too big for one person anyway. My parents won't help me. They say I made my bed. Now I have to lie in it." Sounds like good advice. "How can you be so cold? After everything we've been through?" Thought about that one. Before answering, "I'm not being cold, Claire. I'm being fair. You made choices. Those choices had consequences. I'm not responsible for fixing problems you created. I thought you loved me. Once I did, but you made it impossible to keep loving you." She didn't have response for that. Last time I saw her was at divorce proceedings in April, 4 months after Thanksgiving. 4 months that had changed my life completely. She looked terrible, had lost weight, but not in healthy way. Dark circles under eyes, hair dull, designer clothes replaced by something off-rack. She tried to approach me afterward. In courthouse hallway. "Marcus, please. I have nothing left. I lost my job, my friends. I might lose the house. I need help." Looked at her for a long moment. "Like you helped me when I was down? Like you built me up? Instead of tearing me down for laughs? I know I was wrong. I'm sorry. What more do you want me to say?" "Nothing," I said simply. "I don't want you to say anything. I don't want anything from you at all." "So that's it? 6 years of marriage. And you're just done with me?" "Yes." Had no more anger, no more hurt, just calm certainty that I was doing right thing. "Goodbye, Claire." As I walked away, Oliver was waiting by my car. He'd come for moral support. Had been my rock through whole process. "All good, brother?" he asked, eyeing Claire, who was still watching. From courthouse steps. "Yeah," I said, feeling weight finally lift completely. "All good." We headed to gym. Had new trainee waiting for me. Some guy going through rough divorce, who needed to find himself again. Funny how life works out sometimes. 3 months later, was officially divorced. Claire had finally accepted inevitable. Signed papers without further drama. Heard she had to sell house. Move into small apartment. Had to get job at much less prestigious firm. Had to start over basically. She still texts occasionally, especially when she's drinking. Sometimes begging, sometimes angry. I don't respond. Don't need to. My life is moving forward. Got promoted to senior prosecutor. Dating veterinarian named Lily, who actually respects me and is a fucking smoke show. Not that that's main attraction. Competed in first boxing match in 10 years last month. Didn't win, but went distance with guy half my age. which felt like victory enough. Last week ran into Claire's brother Thomas at bar downtown. Expected it to be awkward. But he surprised me. "Hey man," he said, clapping me on shoulder. "You look good." "Thanks," I said cautiously. "How have you been?" Good. He hesitated. "Look, I know things ended badly. With you and my sister. But I want you to know that Thanksgiving shit, that wasn't cool. I should have said something." Shrugged. Water under bridge now. Still, he ordered us both beer. But I refused, asked for something without alcohol. "For what it's worth, I think you did right thing." Claire, she's always been like that. Even when we were kids, she'd put other people down to make herself feel better. "She doing okay?" I asked. More out of politeness than actual concern. "She's surviving." Had to swallow her pride. Take job at smaller agency. Living in some apartment out in suburbs. Parents still giving her cold shoulder. He took sip of his drink. But honestly, maybe it's good for her. She's never had to face consequences before. Chatted bit more, then parted ways amicably. It felt like closure somehow. Some guys at gym tell me I should feel bad for Claire. That karma hit her too hard. But I don't. You reap what you sow in this life. She spent years tearing me down. And when I finally stood up and walked away, her whole carefully constructed world fell apart. That's not on me. And me? I'm finally harvesting the respect I should have demanded years ago. From others, sure. But more importantly, from myself. So if you're in relationship where someone makes you feel small, where they use you as punchline, where they slowly chip away at your self-worth, know that you can walk away. It won't be easy. It won't happen overnight. But on the other side of that hard decision is life where you recognize your own value. And no joke, no matter how many people laugh at it, is worth sacrificing that